But then the coke snow got heavier and I reached out my tongue to taste it. It numbed my buds with its anesthetized gallows, the love of something cold and promising hollow, like a lover I welcome back, but, after smiling for a few days, basked in their glow, they again attack. Best to stay away from it, so as my thought about it changed, the snow disappeared and turned into rain. I then began to realize that my heart was the star and that my thoughts were the stage director's shadow. She says, go to center stage, and no one sees her but the star, and the audience ignores the puppet that you, the actor, are. I trembled on the night of fortitude, sitting in the rain, strength building up from all my pain. It's not that I dig depression or anything, it's just that it's part of my creative process, so I say bring it all on, the rage, loneliness, whatever I feel, because it's the only way my art becomes real. Huh, she asked me, as I awoke in the bar, chalk in hand. I'm sorry, I said, what is it? I don't know, you were staring at that chalk and then tasted it. Oh man, I am sorry, replied I. Am I wet? She laughed, winked seductively, and said, not just yet. So we exited to head over to her place, right around the corner. We have to be quiet because my landlord's an ass, she said. But, it seemed an invitation to giggle and lean and touch all up the stairs, her hands on my legs, inching up my miniskirt, my hands on her fishnets, wanting to tear and eat. This is how I have always been, when a beautiful worthy wants in, they get in, if they have the right attitude, and pre-attire. They don't have to be smart, because that is for love. They don't have to be an artist, because I already have that covered. They don't have to be clean because our sex will not be. They don't have to pretend anything at all, although role-playing is fun. They don't have to be classically pretty as I find all kinds hot. They just have to be out of their heads and into being caught. The door opened to her place. I didn't know if it was her flat or her face, because inside were some dirty dishes with separating lace, and the carpet was pristine here but a mess over there. She walked to the small kitchen and got a bottle off the fridge, poured us some R/Berlin, we downed a shot and then she walked swinging that full ass to her room. Further away on Hart there was something in the distance and I had to follow it. It waggled and said it liked those who were dandified. Where did I get these clothes, I wondered. Now I was in lace sleeves and pouty buttons with a coat so haughty. In my hand was a compact with a mirror upon my face, my makeup extreme, cheekbones more than defined, like I'd come from deep space. Stardust replaced the rain, the planet was basked in glittering light. I knew even then that it wasn't really stardust but hope. It signaled to me that everything would work out all right. But the waggling thing was getting away, so I closed upon it. It stunned me how it let me catch up so easily, as though it wanted to be found, like somewhere upon a bed, bodies read, by two women, passion their only sound. The waggling thing was round and seductive, it said not a word. I felt the urge to touch its softness, and there at the top it gave quiver. I delighted in this thing, about a foot across, as stardust floated all around, with every stroke of this marvel, around its mile-long fingers I was wound. And then I knew it wasn't I that caught its splendor. Rather, it was beauty that caught me with an allure so subtle and tender. Had this genius curiosity evolved just to be seduction? Had I evolved just to be its prey? When I was chasing it, was heart spinning me into its abduction, the illusion of my eyes stuck on its heart pendulum sway? And, as I pondered this, the waggling thing spoke. It said, now over here, and I was again in her flat. I had been kissing her amazing ass. She turned around and I was stunned. A perfect vagina that looked like something so remarkable, it would humble any artist who tried to paint, sculpt, or write of it. I bent my tongue down to her detective, and she knew all my secrets at once, for the way you lick her is the way of her you adore, and she had me at the moment of promising bounce. Such good fortune I had, I could have died right there. She moved me inside, and so I was wet, which her moving leg was seeking now against me to abet. Then I was captured by those long, long fingers, perfectly manicured. They entwined through my hair and pulled me closer, pushed slow but harder. I began to lick a bit stronger and with even more precision to that spot, the place we nearly all love to travel at least once. She began to push her leg harder against my clitoris, and I delved deep inside her now, my tongue wanting its communion. I was baptized then in her beliefs, and what I felt was beyond all things of non-eternity. I was converted, a new disciple of hers, I have no idea why. As I tasted her kindness, I saw Buddha and Christ holding hands. The universe made sense for that moment, and then she said, "Now it's your turn." Was I fresh enough? I guessed so as she tore into me with abandon. I seemed to have more reverence, had put more meaning into what I did. She ate like a ravenous animal while I had eaten like an artist. However, she was as effective in her technique as I was in mine, and I had to wonder if maybe she were the better lover. She wasn't as inside her head, it seemed she was out for a secret to uncover. On the planet Heart I was now all alone. Emptiness had found me once again in a town called. Now I have you, and now I am alone. I knew that whatever was happening back where a part of me walked, it would be a place that I would reluctantly visit, a place of creativity unlocked. It had all my past relationships as its inhabitants, and the shops were all run by religious merchants. They always want to sell you something, that lot, so I avoided buying anything from their plot. Here was Heartbreak Street, and there was Abandonment Avenue. In the center of town was the intersection of Injustice Way and Ben Lide Road. In the center of town was a building I had seen many times before, but I always turned away from it because its presence and name implied more. It was an all-black building that was simply named Truth. And, as fearful as I was, I thought of Bowie and knew I had to enter right soon. As I walked up to its foreboding, swinging door's entrance, I saw through its glass that the lobby seemed endless. "Is everything okay?" she asked me just then. "Huh? Oh, yes." She was still between my legs. But I was somewhere else. "It's like you went away," she remarked, looking unhappy. "I guess I did, I'm sorry." "Was it something I did?" "No, not at all, you see it's just that I'm an artist and that is my primary love. I am no good to anyone when I neglect what I feel, and often I am no good to anyone anyway. So, that's the deal. I have a brain that gets caught up in words, poetry, writing, and thought, and so no matter how wonderful you are, I get distracted because that's who I am, like some kind of forming star. I have been like this since I was young, daydreaming in class, writing on desks, short stories and poems while others got out and ran. I have never been normal, always keeping a journal, and writing in the middle of movies, always thinking differently. Why, one time I left to write at the beginning of a symphony. Then she smiled like the Cheshire Cat, and invisibled, leaving a grin. I saw nothing else, but indeed I felt her pull off the bed, as she said, "We are only about to begin." I was led to a bar that crossed her doorway bizarre, and she chained me up to it quite neatly.